Welcome to 1315, the podcast that teaches teens to pursue Christ and defend their faith in everyday life. My name is Caleb Eckerd, and I'm the co-founder of the ministry Grounds for Faith. I'm sitting down with some of the brightest minds that follow Christ to answer the hardest questions, talk to them about what they've learned along the way, and find out what encouragements they might have for the next generation of believers. With that being said, why don't you go ahead and grab yourself a cup of coffee, have a sit, and start listening. Alrighty, so we're going to get to the episode in just a couple of seconds, but I wanted to just go ahead and throw it out there that if you are listening to this podcast right now, go ahead and take that dandy old phone, take a screenshot of you listening to the podcast and post it on Instagram, on your Instagram story, or on Facebook, and tag Grounds for Faith. Let us know that you're listening. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Ben. So with that being said, let's get right to the episode.
Enjoy the content.
Welcome back for a... Thank you for that, Benjamin. Welcome to a...
Oh, we already started?
Sure, we can start now.
No, we haven't started.
We haven't started yet?
No.
When are we going to start? Okay, so now we're going to start.
We're starting.
Welcome back for a much long-awaited episode of 1315.
Man, I've missed this.
We've missed you too, Ben. Everybody has been missed.
Yes.
I know we've gotten a lot of questions about lots of coughing going on. About what we were doing, where's the podcast been, where's the blog been? Because I don't think we've had anything really since
like May.
June? May?
Mm-hmm.
Probably since May. Okay. So, yeah, we're here to answer all those questions, talk a little bit about life and just what's been going on with us this summer, and that's got some good learning experiences along with it, and hopefully some stuff that you can take away. So, Ben, where have you been, and what have you been up to this summer?
All right. Yes. So I started working like right after high school with a plumbing business, actually. So trying to make that cash to pay for college, So that's what I've been doing for all of my days. So yeah, that's about it. And getting ready to head off to NC State, North Carolina State, on the 16th. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, mostly just working, a little bit of vacation here and there, but not too much. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. What about you?
So pretty much before graduation, I was working some at the good old Walmart. So yeah, that pretty much continued through the summer. I interned at my church as well, so that was kind of crazy. Doing essentially doing two jobs over the summer was quite the handful. But it's okay because I got through it, and here we are. Oh goodness, I was gone for a week in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So that was a lot of fun. That was a blast. Got to learn a lot there, and I'll be going to VCU starting on the 20th. Yeah, so I'm super excited for that, to get to learn and grow in college.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. So what have you been learning this summer, Ben? Any cool conversations you've gotten to have? Any cool experiences?
Well, I think when I was working on construction sites and stuff, learning how to plumb, which was quite an exciting adventure. I think meeting people from different walks of life is just another eye-opening experience to see people living in different environments with different beliefs and different lifestyles, but then realizing that, we're all... Jesus paid the price for us all, and so recognizing that and trying not to look at people with, human eyes and look at people like, oh, that dude's got some problems, So I think working with some rough people and stuff, I learned some that grew me some in that aspect. You know, just people from different walks of life and things like that. So that's probably one thing that I have reflected over.
Cool.
Yeah. And yourself?
Well, I've been working at Walmart, like I said, and I really enjoy working at Walmart because I get the opportunity, really just to work with all different kinds of people and interact with all different kinds of people. You know, people that don't, you know, that maybe don't know the gospel or, you know, don't attend church or whatever, have you. So that's been really good. You know, you have to interact with lost people, you actually have to interact with lost people. So I know that's profound, right? But some of y'all aren't interacting with lost people, therefore you're not going to get to talk to lost people. There you go. That's a profound...
Big idea of the day.
Big idea of the day, right? So that's been good, and I just got back from Montreal, Canada, like I said, which is a really lost city. It's the largest unreached city in all of North America at 99.3% unreached. So that was quite interesting. And it's not that these people don't know about Jesus. It's that they simply just don't care. You know, I had a conversation with one guy that was like, you know, how do you know God exists? How do you know he's real? What's so different about Christianity from every other religion? It's, you know, it's pretty much just the same man-made things that people have been doing for centuries. What makes you believe that it's true? And so having a lot of conversations like that while I was in Montreal made me really sit and think on the fact that the United States is going the exact same way. Like, that is the direction that we are headed. Mm-hmm. And people have got to be ready to answer these questions. And I don't think it's until, like, so originally what made me really want to kind of start understanding these apologetic type questions was when Sean McDowell came to our church and was like, all right, I'm going to play the role of an atheist. You can ask me whatever question you want. Do your best to convince me about Christianity, about God, and we'll see where that goes. And I watched people like ask him all these questions and him just turn around and like flame them. And I didn't ask any questions, but I felt like I myself was getting flamed a little bit because I was trying to answer those, like, ask those questions and, you know, think up responses to his responses, and I couldn't. And I was like, oh, snap. So I think as much as here at Grounds for Faith, we want people to have a heart for, like, understanding those hard questions. It's really, you know, I can't make people want to understand those things. I don't think I can show them the importance of that. And I don't think you, like, truly understand the importance of being able to answer those really hard questions until you have an instance where you just get, like, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you just get, like, roasted. So it's good to have, like, that kind of emotional connection. Kind of having that emotional connection to it is really good and beneficial. So that's just been some of the stuff that I've really been learning this summer, and I'm super excited about. Yeah. Sweet.
Cool deal.
What's a challenge of going to NC State that you're kind of concerned about? Or not concerned about, but you're knowledgeable or aware that you will experience?
Yeah, so I think, you know, everybody always tells you that, you know, college is going to be a whole nother ball game and all this stuff. And so that's great, but you don't get the experience until you're actually there. And so just experiencing that different environment that is just so self-centered, I guess, and that Satan is really used as a breeding ground for a lot of things. So I think just finding a group of guys or a place to plug in is vital. Especially, you know, being away from friends and family and stuff that previously were able to, hold me accountable to actions and things like that. So that's one of the biggest things I've been praying for is just, finding a group of guys. Actually praying, and I think wrote in my journal, I was like, God, help me find like 4 or 5 Calebs in my life. So that's probably one of the hardest things is just being away from you as a friend, where we've had these experiences and grown and been able to hold each other accountable, and then trying to find that again, or at least finding a place to plug in, as we've learned, is so important. So that's probably one of the biggest things that I'm maybe worried about and praying about. So that's probably what I'd say.
Yeah. I think for me, I have a couple. And number one is like you said. I mean, like you're. Oh, hello, phone notification. Hello there. Hello there. I'm most nervous. Not most nervous, but I'm nervous about finding other guys that I can hang out with and just be a guy with. Like, I don't have you're leaving, and that's tough, and I'm not living on campus either.
Mm-hmm.
So that like adds kind of like another layer to of it's just like that much harder to like plug in and find
fellowship
people. Yeah. So I'm kind of nervous like about that aspect of college. So I don't really like know like where I'm gonna find that group of people. Maybe that's at maybe that's at my church, that's at a different church or whatever. So I'm not sure about that quite yet. Small side plug here. If you are going off to college, make sure you find a good church to get plugged into ASAP. You should be looking that up, Googling that before you even get there. So be thinking about that. That's your challenge this week, next 2 weeks of things to do before you get rolling there. Also, I'm a little nervous about like burning out because I'm taking 15 credits, which is kind of like the standard, I guess, for like a full-time student. I think you have to take 12 to be full-time, but most of your advisors will like recommend that you take 15 credits. But I'm doing that and working at Walmart while I'm working through college, and I'm nervous that that's gonna, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to handle, and I know that like when the going gets tough, like I'll figure it out. Like I'll always find a way to make it happen. But like I don't want to just like make it happen. Like I want to make it happen well. So that's like really hard, and that's just one thing that I've been really working through and praying through in this next season of life.
Yeah. I think that. We're both about to enter some new stage and chapter, and so the new experiences will definitely be abundant. But having guys around you and a church is so important, and even finding a campus ministry to plug into with people you can like see every day and stuff is important. So yeah, I'm excited about that too. It's a new journey, but so. Yeah, ready for it. Hopefully, I'll be able to use some of this Grounds for Faith content with my friends,
Yeah.
Pointing them to it and, yo, look at this.
Yeah.
Is truth a thing,
Yeah.
What's the difference between religions and stuff, so, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually taking philosophy for my first, in my first semester, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's cool that that's kind of like a part of my business curriculum, so I'm really excited about that. Do you have a goal in going to college?
Do I have a goal?
Yeah.
To graduate. I don't know. I really haven't written down any goals or thought about that too much. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. It's been I have been thinking about it a little bit. I think one goal would be to be consistent in my time with God, I guess. Because now it's like completely up to me. there's really no structure to my day. And so finding the time to, spend that time with God and reflect on experiences and stuff is going to be really important. Because, when I don't have that, it affects me in a negative way, because it's like everything just gets bottled up and I don't really think about anything and I just keep going through the motions. So I guess being very consistent and trying to create a habit in that, and being bold enough to just have that time out in a public space or whatever it may be. So that'd probably be a pretty important goal.
Okay. Yeah, I think I want to. That's a good goal to have. That's a goal for me as well. And I want to see I don't know. I want to build solid relationships with people and find ways to pour into the people that I'm around.
Mm-hmm.
And using I want to be able to use what God has given me to impact, honestly, just the people that I come in contact with, and finding ways to maybe make relationships with these people that I'm in class with or whatever it may be. Because I think it would be, another thing that I learned while I was in Montreal is that as much as it is great to have those one-time gospel conversations with people, those are essential and those are good icebreaker things to do.
Yeah.
But it's that's not going to really be the defining moment that somebody decides to come to Christ. Mm-hmm. It's really going to be through you living your life and through how you show the unconditional love of Christ to that person. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that's through being unconditionally generous with somebody, with your, that's with your being generous with your time, with your house, your resources, your dorm space, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I thought even just having someone over, having a few people over that that live on campus, and saying, hey, well, why don't you, instead of eating Schaefer, which is our food court at VCU, which is really not all that tasty, say, hey, instead of having Schaefer for dinner tonight, why don't you come down to my place and I'll grill you a burger or something like that, and then I can take you back up later.
Yeah. Just connection time and stuff like that.
Yeah, looking for those opportunities like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. I think that the fellowship is like we talked about, is a big thing. So yeah. So let me think. What do you think is going to be the most? Let's see. How do I want to say this? What do you think will be the hardest thing to have to deal with? I guess is a little different than the challenge.
I don't know, just kind of adjusting to a new phase of life. I've been really realizing over the summer that it's times are changing. Times in my life are changing, and a lot of the times in high school we're thinking okay, man, I'm 18, I'm getting older, I'm really kind of ready to be an adult, whatever. But you as much as you think those things, you're not really ready. You're not ready for it, obviously.
Yeah.
And no one is. You kind of figure it out as you go.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know, this summer I've really realized oh snap, life is changing and I'm getting ready to I have already transitioned into that next phase of life. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the men's studies we talk about that we listen to, it's you were, as men, we're made to create and cultivate. Mm-hmm. And so I was well, how am I creating, and how am I creating good things while I'm in this new phase of life, and how do I cultivate what I already have? How do I maintain what I have, and how do I be a good steward of what I have right now? And so that's been really big for me, and yeah, just thinking about that, because it's totally different. Think about how you really be a good steward of what God has blessed you with.
Yeah.
And that is something that I don't think I've been too terribly great at.
Yeah.
Up until this point. But it's something that I'm learning little by little and finding ways to do that, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that transition, that we're experiencing, it's kind of like I've been thinking about it too, reflecting, and you spend your whole life, like I spent my whole life in the same place and developed relationships over years and years and years with people in the church and friends and such, and so, and then you just kind of leave all that behind that you've worked so hard to build up and to pull, to be accountable with these people, and you trust these people with stuff, and so it's hard to leave that kind of that niche that you have or you found behind. So I don't know. That's been a little bit challenging and hard for me. Just think about, oh shoot, I'm leaving all this stuff behind. And it's been years in the making that we've been building all this stuff up. And all these people that, have been praying for me and care about me and love me, and just kind of like leaving and then thinking like, to some degree, like, I don't want to let them down, It's like, well, these people, like, they know me, they know, what I'm about. And so some of it's like, I hope I don't, I hope I'm stay straight on the path, and avoid the bumps, which I know there will be big bumps and little bumps and swerves, but it's different when you go somewhere and like no one knows you,
Yeah.
And so I think it's vital to start to establish your identity as early as you can, and not the longer you wait to establish and be like, hey, I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus. The longer you wait to do that, the more you're like, well, maybe I don't have to tell people, and maybe I can just kind of be this different person. So that's been something I've been trying to do, is like on my roommate profile, I put on there like, I follow Jesus. I'm going to go, church every Sunday. And I was just trying to establish this so that people would already know stuff about me.
Yeah.
And I could kind of put it in their heads. So yeah, I think that's hard. It's really hard to do. But I think it's just part of it is just knowing who you are. Mm-hmm. And I think being a Christ follower really helps with that, because you know your identity. I remember, and we talked some about our 12th grade English class, where she would ask us, what's your identity? What's something that you couldn't give up and it would change you? And first thing, we would think about is our faith. Mm-hmm. But many people don't have that. They don't have something that they hold on to that dearly. And it's kind of sad, but it's also it's comforting to know that you have this thing that you can't lose, and it is with you full time. So yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. And like, I kind of like how you said that, like, the longer you wait, to establish that self, or that, like, of, hey, I'm a Christ follower. Like, mm-hmm. The more opportunity the enemy has to like be like, oh, it's okay. Like, they don't need to know that.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. It's fine. Or if you just kind of like, like say it, but like, you don't like do it, it's okay. And it kind of gives you this big window of like,
yeah, where's the,
like, hey, I can kind of do whatever I want. 'Cause like, they don't really like, mm-hmm. They don't like know me like that.
Yeah.
So it definitely is like, if it truly, I would challenge you, those that are going to college, or even those of you that are entering high school, mm-hmm. or even if there's some of y'all that are entering middle school, grace and peace be with you.
Young bucks. Things about to get a whole lot worse.
Yeah, bro. I was going to establish that early, establish it often.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't hesitate for seconds, like reinforce it, because like, if you don't, it so opens up that window for just like, it's no big deal. Yeah. It's kind of like, it's whatever. So it really is like, because as soon as you go off to college, like, your accountability essentially goes to like zero.
Yep.
Because like, even if like the people around you, like, you leave the people around you that are your friends, your family, that even if you're not like close with them, even if they're not your friend, even if they're just someone that like knows your face, knows your name from school, they they have some degree of accountability on you.
Yeah.
And so you really have got to start, if your Christian walk is something you're serious about and your life has seriously been changed by Christ, then that is something that you should be in a panic and in a hurry to set up for yourself.
Yeah.
So I would definitely, strongly recommend that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And I think we'll, as I head off and you're busy and stuff, definitely gonna, keep the podcast up and figuring that stuff out and finding more cool people to interview and stuff like that. But I think it'll be cool to kind of mark our journey along the way, and check in with each other and for the viewers or the listeners, I guess it would be, to kind of just talk about that. I don't know. Sometimes our over the phone connections aren't that great, so maybe we'll have to find a better way to hook that.
Set that up.
Yes, to set that up. But I think that'll be cool to kind of, to have our journey marked and spoken out, so we can verbalize what we're going through and dealing with, and other people can know our experiences. And some of it'll probably be pretty real stuff, some challenging stuff. But I think it's a journey. It's a journey. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that before the podcast was really we wanted to get down and dirty about answering some of these hard questions. Mm-hmm. And that's really what Grounds for Faith was about. And still is about, because we want to answer these hard questions. But here's the thing. We're gonna clue you in on something.
You got a secret for us?
Yeah, we got a secret for you. Us generating our content was based upon it was, we kind of wrote about things as they came up.
Yeah.
We would say, oh well, we experienced this week, so now we're going to share it with our listeners, our viewers, or our readers, whatever.
Yeah, it was a play-by-play thing.
Yeah.
Somebody asked you what's the difference between Christianity and Islam, and so you're like, oh, okay, let me write an article on it.
Right. Yeah. So, we largely thrive on y'all's questions to us, and knowing what you want us to hear, or what
you want to hear from us.
Yeah, what you want to hear from us. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So please do send in your questions, email in your questions. There's a form on the website that we greatly...
At the bottom of the page.
Yeah, at the bottom of the homepage that we strongly ask that you use. Because I think largely, I kind of would like to see, what is it... I would like to see not only us answering those hard questions, but also, including Grounds for Faith as, what does it really look like to... What does it look like to be grounded in your faith? What does it look like to have... what does it look like to walk with Christ? And, what has our journey been, as individuals? That way we're not just here providing information. We're not here just simply to answer a question, but honestly, just to let y'all follow along with us and follow along with what life is like for us. That's really big. And so, it's a journey for sure, and yeah, we want to let y'all know how we're changing, how we're growing. Because even now, me and Ben are not the same people we were when we started Grounds for Faith. That was over a year ago, and we have grown and changed greatly since that day. So yeah. So send in the questions, fill out the form. Let us know what you want to hear. Or DM it on Instagram too.
On the Instagram,
at Grounds for Faith.
At Grounds for Faith, even Facebook, comment, or PM us on there. So there's lots of options. We'd love to hear from you guys. Caleb and I be freshmen in college, but our heart still is in the classroom in high school as well. We love helping you guys there, and we would love even stories, questions, experiences that you have had. We can put you on the page. Just let us know different things. if you're got a hard question at school, just look on the page. You can search and look at different issues and see if we've covered it and print it out, share it with your friend. And we'd love to hear about that as well. So just keep us updated as we keep you updated as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And stick with us through the ride.
Yeah. So I think that's good.
That's good.
We'll conclude there for the day.
Conclusion.
Para la something.
Presentación.
Sí.
Okay.
Para la presentación. Something like that.
Bueno.
So yeah, this is Caleb.
This is Ben.
And we are going to be signing off for 1315. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to the blog.
We're
going to be getting some more content out to you soon. So definitely check that out for us, please. And yeah,
go ahead and like and comment. Give us a good 5-star review there on that page.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Talk on y'all later.
Peace out.